What's up? Collection Nexus. What is up? Hey guys, welcome to a special episode on a Sunday at 4 o'clock PST. We got a special guest for you today. So we moved the time slot a little bit to accommodate. All good. Hopefully we can see you guys in the chat, just like our normally regular scheduled program. But man, yeah, we got an awesome guest and some cool toys to talk about. So I can't wait to get into it. But first, let me bring in my co-host, the one, the only Berserk 69. Come on in. There. Oh. We both have control. That's great.
We're just playing patty cake there. It builds the suspense, you know.
What's going on, Ronald?
Oh, not much here. Really excited to finally get to this landmark moment, and what a guest we have. As soon as I found out, like, you were able to pull some strings and get us to talk to this amazing creator. I was like, I'm in. Let's do it. It has to
Yeah,
happen.
let's do it. Yeah, I mean, we had a little snafu last week, but we're back on track. Yeah, we have guests scheduled, so let's keep the ball rolling. So I'm ready to do this. We're back. This is episode 1.0, season 2, Collection Nexus, right, Ronald?
1.00.
Yep.
Back and
Let's
better than
go.
ever.
All right. So weekend's almost done. We got an awesome guest. We want to talk about toys. You want to bring him in?
Let's bring him in.
All right. We got Quaid from Corsair Creations, Tide Realm. What is going on, Quaid?
Good to see you guys. What's going on is,
Hello.
well, just about every day of my life anyway is pirates, which is a good thing.
Pirates. Arr.
Quite
Yeah,
jealous there.
man. So
No real piracy. That's a whole other conversation, but
oh. I think I might have told you this joke at Legion's Con, but what is a pirate's favorite letter?
yeah, I've never heard that one before.
Mm.
I think my
Any
answer to him
guesses?
was, "Are you kidding me?"
R. You think it may be R, but it's the
Just
C
maybe.
after.
It's always the guy that's supposed to be making pirates that fails the pirate jokes. It's like 3 times now.
It's all right. We'll get you tuned up. We'll get you tuned up.
It's one of those
Yeah,
trick questions.
we're a little
There's
rusty.
no as soon as you answer, it's another one. You're never
Right.
going to get it right.
Nope, the
All
puns
right.
don't end either. I just have to walk right into them anymore.
Oh yeah. Well,
It's all right.
you
You're
dug
dealing
that
with
hole.
that aged people, so that puns are
Oh yeah, the
dad
dad
jokes are.
puns are
Dad
real.
puns. Yep.
I think I made about 18 of them just that Saturday at Legion's Con.
18 an hour.
Yeah,
How was
precisely.
well? First of all, let's say I want to ask you this: how was your Legion's Con before we get into the whole elevator pitch? Did you enjoy it? Did you have
You
fun?
know, Legion's Con was interesting because I absolutely enjoyed it, and yet if I was to compare it to, because I have a background of committing to large scale projects that are probably bigger than anybody has any business doing and getting them done anyway. But for my early career, coming straight out of high school, I worked on three-hour student films before heading properly into adulthood, and that was a huge commitment and was exhausting because that was an everyday thing. I didn't quit until it was done. I said to myself for months that I'm just going to take an entire day, week, month to sleep after that. So my point being, that was the most tiring thing I'd ever been through. And the 2 days that it took to get me from where my wife and I are based at to New Jersey and Legion's Con, which is like a 4-hour flight or something like that, and then being at the event for the 48 hours that it lasts,
Mhm.
topped those 3 years. It was the most exhausting thing I've ever done. And I think it was just based on the sheer kind of shell shock volume exposure of how many people you have in one place, and the fact that as a someone who's not only has a booth open, but you don't even get a chance to breathe if you're selling something. If you have something on the table to, barter with, essentially, you've got some breathing room because people are already waiting to come grab from you. We have a sales pitch with every new person that comes by, so we didn't have a chance to shut up. It was difficult just to get to the restroom most times. So it was
Yeah.
a blast, but you had to roll with the punches if you were going to get the job done. Um, and we couldn't have picked a better community to jump into what was our first toy convention with. Everybody was just, they were on it. They were looking out for us anywhere they could. Obviously, everybody was just as busy as we were. Um, but there was folks bringing us food without us having to ask. I mean, my wife and I have put everything we have into this venture we're doing here. So it's pretty much was a shoestring budget as is, just being there. So folks were extremely generous by taking care of us, and food was a big one that we didn't really have to worry about while we were there, simply because the Legions community is as wonderful as they are. And I can't sing their praises enough or thank them enough for how good hands we were in there.
Nice. Yeah, man. I always have a great time at Legion's Con. Like-minded people, the art
Yep.
community. Just it's a lot of fun. Yeah, for sure.
It's the most
Um.
amazing art exhibit I've ever. I mean, it's
Oh,
not just
yeah.
there's an inappropriate amount of transfer of funds there, but there's 10 times more displays of people's talent and art. It's an amazing conglomeration of everybody's imaginative ingenuity into this very unique paradigm of business. And
Yeah,
it's it's awe-inspiring to watch.
it is. Yeah, it's really cool, man. Well, enough Legion talk. We know that you were there this last year, but why were you there? What brought you there? Give us your background. Give us your elevator pitch on what you're doing in this community.
The fact that we were at Legion's Con was a miracle in its own right, and that's simply based on how accommodating and generous Four Horsemen Studios is as a company. And that translated all the way from the beginning up until the end. And since I was a child, I always assumed that I'd grow out of toys. I had my father telling me that eventually it would, trickle down and I'd do something that makes sense, and that just never really happened. So flash forward, and storytelling has just continued to be the basis of my self-expression. And I'm afraid that I just couldn't really bear the thought of pursuing anything else. However, I didn't think that there was a different way to get into the toy industry unless you went to school for about 25 years and worked in the
Hmm.
mailroom at Mattel and hoped that somebody made friends with you while you were there, something like that. Well, lo and behold, I'm gifted what's one of the most special Christmas presents I've ever received from, my wife my fiance at the time, which was the ghost of Jacob Marley from
Ooh,
the figure Obscura um, subline they've
nice.
got going. Christmas is very, very special and dear to me for many, many reasons, and that story goes hand in hand. So that figure is what brought the awareness of that company to me. I think that's probably not necessarily even unique to me. I think that Christmas subline opened new doors for them as a company as far as exposure goes. But I had no idea of the sheer amount of influence that they had within the toy industry, how
Hmm.
many different things they had had their hands in for 20 plus years as is, and that they were still taking independent sculpting commissions. And I had just on a whim, after having maybe been in the Legions community for 2 months since receiving that figure, sent them an email one day and said, we have this idea in our heads, and it's not really even worth talking about yet. But we're curious what this process looks like. Like, what do you guys do for an indie company that's trying to hopefully gently ease their way into a product line when they don't have any prior experience? And
Okay.
much to my shock and amazement, Corn Boy himself reached back within probably a week or so and just had this outline of what their business structure was and how they made it work and how if we chose to move forward, they would help us make it work. And it was
Cool.
astonishing because the numbers that I wasn't expecting numbers. It was a couple emails back and forth of just they'd pique my interest, so I put a few more things in front of them, and they said, "This is how it would work. This is about how much it would take to accomplish something like that, and we are going to consider this pretty heavily just because of the risk you and your wife are taking as is. We made it clear in the beginning that we were putting or we would be if we chose to move forward pretty much everything we have into it. We're
Yeah. Yeah.
taking the risk that any anybody just starting out does, but we're putting our whole hearts into it because it's what we love. But it took pretty much the entirety of the life savings, and they took that seriously. We had that conversation with them. They're like, well, we have no interest or reason to discourage your dreams and your passion here, but we do want to take care of you as best we can. So here's the most accurate numbers we can give. And the scary part was that it wasn't impossible to work with. It was going to take everything and then some. But the idea we had was birthed out of a very purposeful void that we noticed within the toy community, and it's something that I thought was very, very strange. You go in the toy aisle, as you go in the Lego aisle in 1984, and you've got those four main heavy hitter brands. You have City, Space, Castle, and you're supposed to have Pirates. Well, you look in the toy aisle anymore, the Lego aisle is a totally different conversation. But you don't see that genre represented in the toy industry at this
Mm-mm.
point in time in really any substantial capacity. I thought it was especially interesting that the Horsemen didn't really have a presence within that genre. Now we've all seen Dawns of Discovery, and we know what their answer to that has since then been, and that was a fun, interesting conversation to balance that back and forth with how much information we were allowed to have. But there's clearly this little niche that the indie toy industry has noticed and is beginning to address. We wanted to address it in a very, very specific way because I've actually had this pirate story in my head for a long, long time, even before I ever thought about the fact that it could be a toy line. And lo and behold, we narrowed down our 50 plus concepts that we put in front of them.
Wow.
That was how much content we had, conceptualized and put in front of them, and we realized that there was no way we were going to actually produce all that, but we wanted to communicate to them the nature of the world building that we were proposing we would be establishing within
Sure.
this line. And I think that caught them off guard. I don't think CB was expecting this giant bloated email with all of this concept art from this 20-year-old kid that's never done this before. But I
Right.
couldn't put it down, and for a month we cranked out character concepts, and it was very, very easy to get it off the ground simply because the Horsemen are as effective and concise and fast
Yeah.
working already. We already had a whole world pretty much baked into what was going on, and so within 6 months we had finished prototypes quite literally within probably, I think, the last day of my wife and I's honeymoon that summer. We got the final render for the
Wow.
last of the three captains we narrowed down. And so it's just been kind of one gift after the other, and they made some very, very generous allowances to get us into Legion's Con simply because we are working with so little and
Mm-hmm.
have so much that we're trying to offer. And folks were very, very responsive while we were there, and we've gotten almost nothing but really, really positive feedback surrounding this theme and the fact that we are trying to establish this high fantasy but classic motif pirate line. And
Yeah.
there's not any one piece of detail or storytelling that comes with that genre that's kind of subconsciously expected that we're not trying to meet, despite the fact that we are leading with a small wave.
Yeah, man. Wow. That's it's quite the elevator pitch there. That's really cool that you reached out to Four Horsemen and yeah, their professionalism in response got this thing going for you. But I want to see it,
Absolutely.
Ronald. Can you pull up like the page? Show the viewers what we're talking about.
I sure can.
Right
bring
on.
it up on your website, right?
Tide Realm. So where'd you get Tide Realm? Where did that come from?
Tide Realm took quite a lot of think interestingly enough, I think the name of the toy line took more thought than the characters and the world in itself. There you go. There's that homepage. So Tide Realm Corsairs was very much based out of we wanted to pick something that was broad enough to suggest the world building that you come to expect with a line like that. So you dive into something like Marvel Legends, Mythic Legions. There's kind of this subconscious conjuring of more to come. And so we wanted that title to very much be telling you directly what you're getting into without, well, pardon the phrase, treading the same water as, choosing a title like Pirates of the whatever. Corsair was a term that we found really, really early on in the development. And of course, that not only made it into our company name, but also into the toy line itself. And the toy line started with a different title that we pivoted on really, really early. It was called something
Mm,
quite a bit different within the first month or so. It was publicly aware, and then we dialed back and changed it for some pretty specific reasons. And that Tide Realm is the setting of which the whole line takes place. And Corsairs is essentially it's direct translation of the word pirate.
yeah.
So we felt like it was a fairly clear cut way of saying what to expect from the line and how much world
Yeah.
building we had to offer. But these are the first three characters of Wave One, and we narrowed it down to Corn Boy had a very very practical suggestion when it came to narrowing down which characters to lead with, since we had a plethora of them that we'd put in front of him. And it made,
Sure.
it was where my brain was headed as well before he said it. But we let them take point when it came to certain aspects of navigating this industry, that while I've been a toy fan for forever and I have some knowledge surrounding the manufacturing of said things, the development process and prioritizing what you're putting in front of potential fans to incentivize them at the beginning of the line is a very new tactic to me. And so, of course, you have the practical advice of leading with your main characters. Makes perfect sense. We had to
Yeah.
decide what made these main characters what they are. And so these three captains are representing the strongest concepts we felt we had within the sheer amount that we did to lead with. Three was a very one manageable and round number to kind of circulate around this pantheon that we had come up with for the origin of the world, which was these three pirate gods that had sent the tide realms into kind of this chaotic state from never being able to achieve this balance between each other. So they have this great cataclysmic battle, and what makes up the tide realms as is kind of born out of their absence. So these three captains are each in one direct or indirect way related to those three gods. And so that's where their individual character aspects come from. And also, we wanted to represent what we felt was the three coolest motifs that you can put in a
Yeah.
pirate fantasy line. So obviously we have our classic pirate captain who has these call outs within his details or his paint scheme that makes him unique to what he is. It's very, very clear that this guy is not someone like Jack Sparrow, but he's hitting those cues that you want to see with a classic pirate captain with a little bit of twist here
Hmm.
and there. And then Captain um, Deathmoid here, he's fairly self-explanatory. He's skeleton pirate captain. However, his in-world origins are much, much different than you would expect from Lego had characters like that as well, but he's immediately going to call to mind somebody like characters from Curse's Black Pearl, but him by nature within universe is actually a creature of his own right. The skeleton people within the Tide realm are something of a creation in their own right. However, we wanted these characters to circulate around an aesthetic that was malleable. So you can absolutely play with him as if he's exactly what he appears, which is an undead
Heck yeah.
captain. But if you want to
Yeah.
dive into the lore of what he is, it's a little more complex than that. Charybdis is also very self-explanatory. Obviously, he's gonna pull some other visuals from a very well-known trilogy or however many they ended up doing of that. But his origins are highly divine by nature. He's almost, if you get down to what makes him what he is, and all this story content is available on this website. It's probably something we can peruse in a little while. He's practically a demigod by nature, despite the fact that he has this corrupted and repurposed calling that he's very much reshaping his will and fighting the fact that there is this higher purpose to him that he would rather steer clear from. You have your basic motivation of, kind of totalitarian, um, destroy everything. That's what Deathmoid's about. He's called the
Hmm.
Void of the Black Tide because he doesn't see value in all of this creation that the gods have left behind. It just seems like tumultuous, unending. There is no balance, and the irony to Deathmoid is that he sees perfect balance in perfect nothingness. So his goal is to wipe everything out. And Charybdis has a
Wow.
different approach. He sees the creation that the gods have left behind, i.e., the men and everything that they've influenced over the realms, as this kind of polluted corruption that's taken over something that was very pure at one point. And so he wants to take everything that makes the tide realms what they are now and quite literally bring them down to the depths and bring him and his crew and the tideborn that they are referred to as back up as the true rulers of the sea, essentially. And then Captain Alistair Morningstar here is very much this herald of mortality. He's caught between this narrative that he believes himself to be. It's not as if piracy is a very honorable trade, and yet he
Mm.
finds himself called to this higher purpose and this battle that's very much larger than him by nature of these enemies that he's coming up against. He's kind of this renowned figure within the pirate world, despite the fact that he functions under this very ironic code, which is honor among thieves. It's something that kind of
Hmm.
disgusts his fellow man. And so the whole point, all I'm trying to express with these guys is that we've put lots and lots of thought into what makes these three characters what they are, so that these toys are continually renewable in the conflict that they're putting in front of you. So as captains, they of course have a proposed crew that we would love to bring to life if the company grew legs long enough to run that fast. And that's what this first Kickstarter is all about. But the whole point of those three gods and these three characters circulating around that is to keep that continual momentum. The whole conduit that's proposed at the end of this battle is the maw of the abyss, which Charybdis specifically is attempting to open and drag everything down under. So it's
Yeah.
supposed to be renewable, and that there's always a different adventure on the horizon, no matter what stage in the story you find yourself in. And the characters are malleable by nature as well. Their motivations can be shifted and altered to whatever state they find themselves. Charybdis is always teetering on being bordering on an anti-hero, but only in his own mind. So all that to say, we just wanted to give consumers a lot of options within the world that they were jumping into in this small and hopefully affordable package with these three
Yeah.
guys that all very much revolve around each other. That's a
Yeah.
long sales pitch, but a lot went into it.
No, yeah, it sounds like you've really thought this out, planned this out. You got stories, all this stuff. There's a lot to chew on there. But like, let's get down to the bare bones of this right here. You got three characters, and they look
Absolutely.
awesome. They look freaking awesome. I mean, sign me up because I need some pirates in my life. The obviously this skeleton dude is where I'm at. The dark,
Deathmoid
the
is
evil,
getting people very,
sinister.
very excited.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, man, he's cool. But I mean, the adjacent characters as well look really awesome, and I definitely want to get these on my shelf. So as Ronald scrolled down here, you've got some art, you got comic, you got literature. Like this, is that where it all started? I mean, storyboards, comic books, and stuff like that, and now figures.
So the story was very much birthed, toys first. It was something that,
Mm,
you kind of think about, how I'm going to talk about Transformers a lot. If you guys want to reference my my first and foremost influence in the toy industry is going to be that brand. But you have the case of all those wonderful toys being imported from Takara and Hasbro repurposing them into what they are. That
yeah.
brand was initiated with what that toy was, and so all of the consumable media came
Mhm.
around after that fact to grow on that world building. So these were very much born from the visual and the concept of what makes these pirate toys what they are first, and the story grew after that. And these three illustrations specifically were done by a very talented young man by the name of Noah at Edge Comics. And they're busy
Mm,
trying to get a little company of theirs off the ground and have been working
okay.
steadily because they have several series of fully illustrated comic
Mhm.
book stories of their own. I came across his uncle was posting some of his art within the Cabal, and we reached out to them very shortly after having
Oh,
commissioned the three figures themselves. And I saw this story written all over Noah's style, and it came to life
nice.
within a matter of months. I think he had these done
Cool.
right before we left for Legion's Con. So these are done purposefully just to begin illustrating some of that world building that we have in our heads. And
Yeah.
a lot of the characters that are being suggested in this very moody, dark
Mhm.
storytelling here is giving you just that little bit of dipping your toe into the water of who else could be behind the curtain here.
Yeah.
And so nobody's final by any stretch of the imagination aside from the captains, but they are all very much influenced off of real world intentions that we have for this crew. And everybody in the background here has characters and abilities and histories of their own that have yet to be discussed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were talking legs earlier. Like, man, I really hope this company gets legs because I saw like there was a silhouette of a female pirate. I know that's far
Yes,
down the line, but you got her here.
absolutely.
Um, you got all these characters. You're looking to do some world building, and that's what I'm all about too. Um, so I
Yeah,
mean,
no, it's
to
very
answer
easy,
the to
misdemeanor. Sorry.
answer the collecting brothers real quick, I mean,
Oh,
let's get these three captains like up and going.
right.
Let's get this funded. Let's get these guys going, and then yeah, let's get the world going, grow more, and more characters released. But I mean, you could buy a bunch of those skeletons, pirates, and army build those. I mean, if your wife will let you. I
There's
mean,
very much going to be, I mean, customizers have an endless amount of array of
mm,
tools to take some creative options just with
right?
what these guys are on their
All
baseline.
right.
But we are considering how best to, of course, that's going to be the longevity
Yeah,
of the line is how best to optimize that existing tooling and see how many ways you can
right.
fit that in without getting repetitive. And so to answer
Mm,
that question directly, army builders are very much something that are on a
heck
high
yeah.
degree of our priorities. We had to
Let's
pick
go.
between what made the most sense to lead with, which was either give people the ability to buy tons of a more generic concept and have maybe a little bit more trouble connecting with the characters in the world on an individual level, or give them three figures that have the most important essence of what makes the theme what it is elevated to its best ability first, so that you're communicating
Yeah,
what you're investing in first, because it could get a little tedious to start this off with somebody like an army builder when there's not a lot of interpersonal exploration you can do with that character. And these three guys relate to each other in a specific and integral way, just like characters like Optimus and Megatron do. So
mm,
we felt that was that middle ground of giving people the coolest thing possible right out the gate and only add on to that going forward. But army builders are absolutely something that within reason would be prioritized if that first wave generated
Cool.
the um, renewable revenue to start investing into that concept, because we already have lots of things written down to that degree.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that, like the story that we all get. To like, okay, we'll start off with one. He's like, oh, but this one needs a friend, and then he's
Uh-huh.
gonna need somebody else to fight with, and then he just goes
Right.
down the list, and then eventually, like, I'm gonna get them all. I want a whole battleship worth of.
Absolutely. That is absolutely the intention. And that's why we had Noah fit in, just stuff in as many of the concepts that we'd already put in front of the horsemen to give people a good grasp of it. And what's funny is that just based on some of the eclectic nature of especially the villains in these two factions, a lot of the guys that you see here, aside from the captains, are not even the most ambitious characters that we have in the background. So there's things that I'm
Mm,
sorry, we just can't really allude to yet, but I trust me when I say
Sure.
there's characters that folks, I think their jaws would drop so long as we hit a place where we could make them a reality.
Oh, yeah, and you
yeah, man.
mentioned, Four Horsemen worked on this. Like, our heads gonna be compatible? You mentioned
So
customizing, like if you could swap
Pop and
heads with any
swap.
of the mystic, yeah, pop and swap. If you're able to swap heads, like if they have the same, you know, peg hole shape, like,
so these guys specifically as a product line on their own are going to have some intercompatibility with them as a system. They are not by nature like completely take down disassemblable like Mythic
Okay.
Legions are. And that was done. Well, one, we had different priorities when we went in for this toy line specifically. There were different things that we wanted to do with these figures than the Horsemen do on a baseline. And they were excited to pursue that simply because it was their priority also to retain that modular nature of their toys is very much what makes them them, and it's a trademark that we want to make sure they're able to continually optimize on, and so were they. So these guys are going to be cross compatible very much with each other, but the
Hmm.
system and the diameter of the pegs or whatever is not meant to be interchangeable with their product specifically because it is a unique company to theirs. However,
Okay.
customizers, once they're in your guys, I mean, nobody can control what you guys do. They're your toys. You get to do whatever you'd like with
Right.
them. There's going to be places where people can fudge it however they would like. But the quality and the handling of these figures and their articulation scheme is very, very similar to something that you would expect from a modern day legions. These are those three
Nice.
gods of the Tide realm I was referring to a minute ago.
Nice. Some concepts. I
um,
like it. These things look
like,
These came out
gnarly. I like it.
These came out fairly recently from another one of our artists that we're working with. His name is Dimitri, and he worked for the last 3 or 4 months, very dedicated to get these three guys in a presentable fashion that was communicating kind of the awe-inspiring nature that we had envisioned for them, because they're very much they kind of possess the same type of in-world presence that a combiner or a city former would in Transformers. They're massive, and the implications that they have towards their environment are rather earth-shattering, literally. um Hurricane is specifically the deity that kind of revolves around the human characters. Obviously he's the most pirate like by nature, and
Hmm.
he's very interesting because he's constructed entirely out of wrecked ships and island foliages, and he's like
Whoa.
a mass of pirate ships that have come together like Devastator would. And he
Wow.
has this fairly ambiguous nature. You have Starazoa and Osius here, being the god of death, and Starazoa is the god of the sea. So you kind of have that light and dark flavor with those two. You can very much tell who's evil. You can very much tell who's good, or at least who wants to be good. And then Hurricane doesn't really follow by anybody's rules, and he's smack dab in the middle there. So you can see that pantheon of chaos I was describing a bit ago. There's not really any wiggle room for these guys to agree on anything, and that's very much what births the nature of this whole swirling vortex that is the Tide realm. But Dimitri did just a wonderful job bringing these guys to the depths that we wanted, and his art style is so effective. He has a really unique way putting together lighting and composition, and we were very impressed with what he brought to the table.
Yeah, these things look awesome. Like, sign me up for those. That Osius, he looks
Yep,
really cool.
he's
All of them
pretty
look really
darn
great.
gnarly.
Yeah, we got the One Fist saying Pirate Combiner.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, Osius, you can see the little people down at his feet, right? This guy's supposed to be a giant, but like, come on now, we're not going to do that. Are these all going to be the
Right.
same scale?
Wish as we might, it's fairly impractical to, try to achieve something that's, it's 22-inch tall figure, something like that. But within universe, these guys do have abilities and differing story content that would give you the contextual reason for them being at a different
Hmm.
size. And so we would, of course, intend, if they're ambitious by nature, they would be very unique sculpts in and if path in and to each other, and they'd be something well down the road. But
Yeah,
characters that are, maybe 9, 10, 11 inches, we would like them to be the biggest thing on the shelf, of course, just
of
not
course.
dominating and impractical.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some really cool stuff you're showing us. Looks like we lost Ronald. He was sharing the, the whole thing there.
Oh,
Um, but I wouldn't mind getting into your Instagram, just your Instagram page, and just
absolutely.
show the people what we're dealing with here. So let me get that fired up. Um, I do. ma- I'm kind of like Ronald when I start sharing things. It likes to putter out, so that's
Oh, I
why I
get
let
that.
him
We've
do
been
it.
fighting for the last year. Like I said earlier, we have the worst location possible. Bandwidth here doesn't hardly let us do anything. I would, of course, be sharing these things on my end. It wouldn't just completely give up on us.
Yeah. All right. Let me pull this up and just take a look at your
But
Instagram.
Instagram's got some good close-ups of each of the three prototypes.
Yeah. Yeah, they got
I
some
mean, the website has all
cool
those
stuff.
photos too. The website's fairly dominating.
Oops, that is not the one I wanted. That's my buddy Cincy. He takes some cool stuff. Let's see here. Let's try this one. Let's share that one. See what happens. Oh gosh. Nope. Same one. I'm sorry. Technical difficulties. Let me just type you in here real quick.
Yeah,
You still with us?
yeah,
Corsair Creations. There he is right there. All right, here we go.
there we
Corsair
go.
Creations. This is your Instagram profile. So guys, get on Corsair Creations on Instagram. Tide Realm is where you can find them. This is obviously what we just showed off right here. So it looks like you're gunning up for a Kickstarter real soon. So we definitely wanted to talk about all these pirate figures and all this cool stuff you've been working on. And here's a little up close image of Hurricane. Man, this guy's cool.
There we
An
go.
amalgamation of all parts.
Yeah,
Osius. This guy looks brutal. I can't wait to get him
Dimitri's
on my
level of
shelf, man.
detail and absolutely. He's someone that we expect, years down the line. You're looking at hopefully, 3, 4 plus waves of army builders and a
All
whole
right.
company of pirates populating the ship before these guys happen. But they're so integral to the story and they're so integral to the world building that we wanted to have some imagery for folks to reference just based on, they're one, you can tell how related they are to the three products that do exist, and they inform so very, 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 very much of what to expect, even just aesthetically from this line, that we felt it was very, very important to get some kind of representation of them in there. Instagram is just as good a spot as the website to get a hold of visuals and
Oh
news.
yeah,
Everything
for
appears,
sure.
simultaneously within itself. those photos were taken, I think, either right before or right after Legion's Con. Very
Mm.
quick and simple. I mean, they weren't the studio grade photography that we had for the website, but
Sure.
folks just wanted more and more angles, and so we got this really cool below view of each of the three guys. And every time we post those pictures specifically, they get quite a bit of attention, which is funny to me.
Well, they're awesome looking figures. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. They look awesome,
Yeah,
and they flow together. You know, they look like they're in the same realm. They look like they're going to battle each other on their pirate ships, and it just works. You know, there's consistency and just the look of them just flow, and that's where I think that the attention to detail from the Four Horsemen, your advice, all that stuff melded together perfectly because these things look awesome. I can't wait to get this guy on my
absolutely.
shelf, man.
It was a very Charybdis is what we call our pretty boy, much to the ironic expression of that. He's somebody that Deathmoid, I think, on average, has gotten probably the most amount of attention just on base value when it came to image review. But when we had them in person in front of folks at Legion's Con,
Hmm.
people really, really quickly drifted to Charybdis, just seeing exactly what was going on with his silhouette. Alistair very much communicates pretty immediately and pretty effectively what's going on. I'm so excited just on a personal level to handle Alistair because he's doing all of those base things that you would like from a high-end pirate action figure that we've never really seen. You go handle, maybe one of the old Pirates of the Caribbean figures from NECA, and it's not the same experience at all. Um, it's funny to see which characters each, member of the fan base it gravitates towards, because they each, despite the fact that they share some tooling between all three of them, they each bring a very, very unique flavor and yet have that consistent cinematic quality to them. And the Horsemen it was like they were reading our minds. At every stage,
Yeah,
they just met us right where we were and anticipated where our thoughts were headed, and it didn't take long to get what was fairly rudimentary concept art into something that was highly effective within a short period of time. And we could not be prouder. There's not a you do something creative and you go back and you look at something and go, we could have done that better, or
uh-huh,
if I had known more, I would change that. These are
sure.
not like that. They hit every note we were hoping, and every time I go back and I'm just gazing at the very, very delicate paint masters we have to work with, I just get more and more excited because there's not a thing we would change. They turned out absolutely perfectly. There's some
Yeah,
of those
no, they look
direct size
great.
comparisons that you have with
Yeah,
just kind of a basic Legion builder.
sure. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they look like they'll fit right in with all my legions on my shelf too. So this
Too.
will blend perfectly. Yeah, but I love like the gold accents. The just your eye travels everywhere with this guy. You want to see him out. You want to get him in your hands. You want to
Uh-huh.
hold him, play with him.
The
Um,
color theory was a very, very strong and prominent part of the development of all three of these guys because we knew that they would all be very aesthetically consistent, but we didn't want to have a row of figures that they were going to be dark and gritty by nature. Just in some of the paint apps that I think are a little bit easier shown on like the website. You can see that everybody has this weathering on them that makes them look aged and muddy and
mhm,
war torn. But we didn't want a whole shelf full of, earth tone, kind of a drab color scheme. We wanted to bring some pops of brightness into these dark, gritty characters and still keep
sure.
it aesthetically consistent. And so a lot of those metallic tones that we landed on for all three of them very much brought that to life. And Alistair's gold is extremely unique to him. It's probably a color that we want specifically utilized for the Gentleman of Fortune and no one else, just because of how unique it is. And Charybdis, when we found that teal and that copper put
Mm,
together, he came to life immediately. Deathmoid
yeah,
was very, very straightforward when it came to his color palette. Once we got that gunmetal paired with the white, he just came to life.
yeah, looks great. Anywhere on here, do you have any breakdown of articulation?
So
I'm
that's
curious.
something that we're working on right now because we do have at the studio an exploded view of how the engineering works, and it's something that we're still getting properly
Okay,
labeled so that all the terminology surrounding what each joint does and where its functions on each character
sure,
is correct. That's something that's probably really, really near on the pipeline. That's something that'll probably be publicly available within the next couple weeks. Because we're just about where we want to be with that one. But that is
okay,
something that we're going to have available for folks, and they're very
okay,
similar to um, Koi. Right here is a really good example, honestly, of how
yeah,
much range that those guys are going to have. They're going to feel very, very similar.
okay. So single jointed elbows, knees, stuff like that. I mean, we don't need to
Single
get
jointed
them into
elbows and knees when it came
Spider-Man
to.
poses and stuff, but like, you know,
That's what I
we
think
want
is
them to move.
funny is within like the last. Right, you want to have something that feels fluid and natural within hand, which I,
Mm-hmm.
based on all of the products that I've handled from the Horsemen, have been continually impressed on how
Yeah.
much detail and sculpt work they get into any one figure. And especially with what they do now, they were a little bit different with that initial Kickstarter, but what they're able to achieve with
Mm-hmm.
articulation within the last like 4 or 5 years feels
Sure.
extremely natural in hand. And these guys are going to be very, very similar to that. So those single jointed elbows and knees, we explored what it would be if we pushed it all the way when it came to a double joint, and these specific characters just didn't require them. We were getting the
Okay.
naturalistic feel out of them without having to put in all the extra components that it would require to achieve not not enough of a benefit to justify about like 6 or 7 extra parts in order to do that. So they were very, very
Mm,
effective with how much we got out of them anyway.
yeah.
Just getting some of the articulation renders from the studio was really, really cool because they had Alistair in this awesome um, pistol shooting pose, and that's something we'll probably be able to share in the near future. Um, One of the coolest things that we have to talk about kind of continually when it comes to the next several months before we lead up to this Kickstarter, we're working very, very closely with the studio to get not only the landing page up so we can start collecting some of those dedicated fans that have already signed up for the newsletter on the website. We fully expect everybody to jump right from there over to the landing page so they're ready to be alerted when that thing goes live, which our intention is mid-spring, that April, May category. We're still waiting on factory quotes from Four Horsemen Studios so that we can lock in what
Mm,
that funding goal is going to be, because half of what's going to make or break a new company is making sure you have your math lined out. You want to have as much detail
sure.
as possible and as much information locked in before you launch. So if some of those
Of
things
course.
just aren't quite dialed in the way we need them to be, that's about the only thing that's going to push back a launch. And it's not going to push it back by years, maybe months at most if it doesn't. But everything's on trajectory
Good news.
to be in that
Okay.
category.
Well, man, yeah, I mean, you got to get all your ducks in a row, man. Like, make sure it's
Absolutely.
right before you pull that trigger. But I'm excited for it. What about you, Ronald? You excited for
Oh yeah,
this?
oh yeah. No, if I wasn't excited before, like after seeing the figures and knowing that there is a story behind it, and
Yeah,
the future looks bright.
yeah,
Right.
Really excited to see what else comes.
There's tons to explore on that website when it comes to, if the story is grabbing your attention just as much as the figures is, which my wife and I work tirelessly to build that world so it can be that. That's what we want folks to be able to latch onto while they're waiting for the campaign to go, and even post campaign. The job doesn't stop after that. You
yeah.
have a fairly significant wait time between a successful campaign and then getting product into people's hands. So the like I just said, the job doesn't start there. There's lots to talk about. There's lots of information to keep in front of people the whole time round, and we would
Hmm.
like that world to just continue to grow before, during, and after. One of the best assets that we have right now when it comes to promotion and getting this in front of people
Nice.
are our friends at Creative Realms, that being Terrence St. John and his wife Gina, are actually going to be representing Tide Realm Corsairs at a number of conventions between
Cool.
now and I think well into the summer. We're still trickling out exactly what those conventions are, but most of them
Yeah.
are locked in at this point.
Right
Because
on.
my wife and I can't travel the way that we did to Legion's Con constantly. It's just not practical to be able to do that. And
Right.
so they very generously and very helpfully are waving this flag as often as they can in as many places as possible. So you'll see their name pop up pretty frequently on the socials as far as where they're at and how what their role is within the process of
Yeah.
getting this in front of people. And they've been integral. We just can't thank them
Nice.
enough.
Well, that's cool, man. Yeah, you got to get this product out in front of many eyes as you can, for
Absolutely.
sure.
It's a
That's why we're here right
24/7
now.
job.
Yeah, sounds exhausting, but hey, it's
Marketing
gonna be worth
is
it, man.
marketing is ridiculous, but it's already been rewarding and we haven't even
Yeah,
made the toys yet. And so it's seems to be sailing in a very positive direction. And
yeah,
the
cool.
cool people that we have met from beginning to end just hasn't stopped. I get to talk to a new person just like I am right now, practically every week, if not every other week, talking about this fun brand. Um, and
Yeah,
it hasn't stopped being an adventure, and that's fairly poetic because that's what we want this brand to be too.
yeah. Well, just keep using those puns, though. Set sail. I love
Right.
it. All right. Last question before we get into our segments here. When is this going to drop on Kickstarter, or just like a general ballpark of when you're thinking that we can expect this? Obviously, sign up, get those emails and all that stuff. But do you have a date for us, maybe?
We do not have an exact launch date simply
Okay.
because of that getting those numbers locked in. But again, we don't have anything to conflict with the goal of April or May. It could be either, running through one or the other of those months, or it might start in the middle and bleed through to the middle of the other one. But
Okay.
that's our trajectory. We don't have enough information missing currently to say that that
Sure.
won't happen. If it does change, we'll make sure everybody knows within, the exact same time frame we do. But that's the trajectory. Um, and one thing when it comes to, a Kickstarter campaign specifically is very much the fact that in order for Kickstarter as an entity to get that project in front of people that even, we've been working fairly tirelessly for the last year or so to make brand awareness on our part. But it's those initial 3 days of a campaign and people putting their name down for that project that informs Kickstarter to boost that algorithm and put it in front of other potential fans that are shopping for something just like what everybody who's already signed up is already excited for. So it's very integral, especially at this part of the process, for that crowdfunding term is especially important when it comes to the crowd part of that word. It's very much revolves around everybody who's coming together to make this a reality. It's something that one of the most enjoyable things to me about just a consumer, being a consumer anyway, within the toy industry, was when something very special to me anyway happened, which was that HasLab Unicron. And it was especially gratifying to participate in something that was tailor fit, regardless of there were some interesting parts of that campaign, but that was tailor fit to bring you as a consumer into the conversation of the product. You were very much a part of the reason that that toy came into
Hmm.
being. And
Yeah.
it's nothing like just pre-ordering something from a mass product. It's actually something that you're able to hold in your hand and be just as proud of as the creator may be, because it's
Right.
because of you that it has come into being. And so those initial backers, those initial pledges, are what informed that campaign of its trajectory. And so
Yeah.
it's very, very important for people to get in early because it will push that funding goal where it needs to be much, much
Yeah.
quicker. There's a thought process around holding out to the end to see if it works out, and that's actually not quite how crowdfunding works. And the best part about it is that no funds are taken unless the campaign is successful, and that
Right.
doesn't happen until the end. So everyone's names are down real early on. It just makes it even easier for everybody at the
Yeah.
end. So it's very much the beginning of a Kickstarter campaign. That's the most important part to jump in on when you can.
So Ronald, what does Adam say? I forget.
Don't be a butthole.
Back
Don't
the
be a butthole.
Kickstarter. Don't be a butthole. Just do it. Sign up.
Do
Sign.
it
Get your email
early.
in there. Yep.
Yeah,
And that
you're not sniping anybody from getting it. Like,
Right.
your
yeah,
name is on there. You're guaranteed to have one.
absolutely.
Yep.
There's nothing to lose,
All right,
especially in
Ronald.
the beginning.
Do you have any more questions for Quaid before we move into our segments?
No, I pretty much answered everything I wanted to know. And, you got from here till April, maybe May, to start saving up putting money in your piggy
Doubloons?
bank, put in
Absolutely. If
your
we've been doing
doubloons
our
in
jobs
your
right,
treasure chest.
hopefully folks have been saving for even longer than that.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're going to give us a good offering. So I'm definitely going to be following this. Put my email on that Kickstarter notification, all that good stuff, because I am excited for this project. I can't wait to see where it goes for sure.
I'm very grateful to you guys for just wanting to sit down and
Yeah,
talk
man.
about it. And that I think, like I mentioned earlier, that landing page is close behind. We're working really hard to make sure that it
Cool.
goes up soon. But right now, that email sign up on the website, which is right at the bottom if you scroll there, is the best way to get yourself in the same position
Okay.
that the Kickstarter landing page is going to put you. Now it's equally important once that launches to go do the same thing on the landing page, but you're going to get all the same information coming
Okay.
directly from that website. Sign up now.
All right. Well, thanks for letting us know that. All right, guys. We'll move into our segments now. What do you say, Ronald?
Perfect.
You want to show off our archive figure of the week?
Let's do it.
The past, the dusty, but still fun to display and play with. So mine's not too old. I'll be honest with you. I pulled it out just from over here, but there was a big scuttlebutt. I'm going to take it away, Ronald, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
There
Go
was a
ahead.
big scuttlebutt back in the day when this series first came out. Everybody wanted a piece of it. I actually happened to manage to find one on the shelf when I was out of my Target. This is in 2000 when this drop was the new G.I. Joe classified series. It's the Baroness and the Baroness
Oh,
on bike. It was that 2-pack or big pack, I guess, but you could not find this thing. It was
wow.
scarce. It was everybody wanted it, but I wanted it for the Baroness because she's an awesome GI Joe, right, Ronald? GI Joe, right here, baby. Let's
Yeah,
go.
with the head sculpt inspired by, I don't know, it was inspired by somebody.
Hmm.
And what year did you say that was released?
This is year 2020. It's not
Okay,
too
gotcha.
old. I'm not going way too far. We've already shown like all
Right.
of our old stuff, and now we're starting to pick off some of the new stuff. But I hope you got
Yeah.
something from way back in the day. That'd be nice. But
Yeah.
this I just really love this Baroness. I think they did a really good job with their sculpt, posability, paint, her looks, everything. She comes with a motorcycle helmet for when she's riding the bike. I just have her in this pose right now, but she's an awesome figure, an awesome addition to the GI Joe classified series. We have got her on a retro card and other things, but this is mine. This is the one I wanted for my collection with the snake eyes and all that stuff. So
I've
this is
always
my
wished
archive
that I.
figure of the week. Um, am I? Do you GI Joe at all, Quaid? You
So
get down
GI
on
Joe
this?
is a fairly small, like army guys as a genre was not something that I was. I wanted, like I tried over and over. I had several as a kid and wanted to get into it more than I did.
Hmm.
Classified kind of changed that conversation, because I just really appreciate the engineering that goes into those figures specifically. So I've got a couple from that line. It's not this hallmark of my toy collecting, but I very
Sure.
much appreciate the craftsmanship that goes into what what makes that line specifically unique. And I have a snake eyes specifically that I really really like.
Yeah, man. Do you own any like older stuff, 80s with the rubber band waists and stuff like that? You own
I
any of
do have
those?
some. I do
Do
have some
you?
original G1
Oh,
Transformers. I didn't
nice.
bring them, but I do have some from the 80s.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, unfortunately, mine all fell victim to, um, their O-ring snapping or getting
Yeah,
lost in the mud when I was a kid playing with them outside, all that stuff. But
right.
yeah, they were a lot of fun. Brings me back to my childhood. So yeah, I pick and choose some GI Joes from here and there, and this is one of them. So the Baroness
If you,
on bike,
right,
that
if you
is
get
my
somebody with a
Baroness.
vehicle, you kind of can't top that.
Yeah, she came with a cool bike too. So definitely wanted to pick that one up. All right, Ronald, you want to take it away?
Yep, I
Oh
do.
man, here I go. Here I see.
That one right
I'm
there. That's
terrible
the
at
one we want.
this. I'm terrible at this. There it
There we
is.
go. Oh man, you're making me feel bad. You're like, oh, this isn't that old of a figure. It's 2020, you said, right?
Yeah, 2020.
This one is
Feels
it's
like
from
it's
the good
forever
old
ago.
year 2025.
Oh,
Last
that's
year. It was from
last
last year.
year, Ronald.
Long time
It was
ago.
from last year. Like honestly,
You
like
sure
it's just
this is
something
your
that the way I said it, I'm like, I know when you spread it out like that, it makes it seem like, you know, back in the 21st century. Like, what
Yeah,
do you mean
no.
the 21st century?
Back in 1925, when toys were made out of rubber.
Wood.
Yep.
Yeah, no. When people ask you like, oh, I was born in the 19, it's like dust. They age you like. But yeah, no, I was, before we started, I was looking at my figures. I brought this one out, and I just wanted to talk about it. You guys had a few things to say about it, and
Uh-huh.
big old dragon one, even though he was a recent pickup not too long ago.
He's so cool. I absolutely
Yeah.
love the deco on him. His colors could not be better put together. He's very much to me, he's saying exactly what they must have wanted him to say, which is a love letter to where he came from, because I
Hmm.
think Big Bad Toy Store should be very, very proud of what that guy's communicating. And he's just such a cool mold.
No, yeah. No, that dragon is super cool. I just have multiples of them. So
Right.
I did
There's
pass
like
on it.
there's like six
Even
different ways to
though,
get that one.
I mean, it was hard, Ronald. It was hard for me to pass on this guy because he's black and red
Right.
and he comes with a big ass sword. So
Yeah.
like it was hard for me to pass, but I'm like, I already have this guy like 4 times. I don't need another one. But
Four
Right.
different colors.
They did him
yeah,
in blue, green, orange, and does that make this guy number 4?
number 4, I believe
Yeah.
so. Yeah. So even though it's got the cool soft goods and the big bad emblem on his chest and all that stuff,
Mm,
I had to pass on it. There was other figures on the horizon that
Right.
needed my
He was
attention.
on I imagine maybe that's where Ronald scored him, because he was on a really decent sale over Christmas, and I think a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
people grabbed him.
Hmm.
Oh, I should have just
Missed
started
it.
army building during Christmas then, because I got this day one. As soon as they showed
Oh
it
yeah.
off
Oh,
on it
okay.
at the it was released for the 25th anniversary.
Yeah, it was like early
Hmm.
spring
Big
last
bad.
year,
Yeah.
but I didn't end up with mine until a couple weeks ago, because he went down from, I think, 80 to like 60, 55 maybe.
Oh.
I couldn't
Oh.
say
That's
no
that's not
to
bad
that
for
one.
this amount
Mm.
of plastic.
No, that's
Yeah.
not bad at all.
A lot of
Yeah.
plastic.
I don't think I
Eh, eh,
probably would have gotten him until he went on sale like that, but I'm not sorry that I have 2 of them for that price, but that's it for the Dragars, whatever they're called.
yeah. And he's a cool figure. He's a really cool figure.
Yeah,
But
I gotta
he
turn on my.
stands out. You hardly have to pose him for him to be interesting, and then you do pose him and it just gets
right.
better.
Yeah. And he's that bigger figure too. He towers over your other mythic
He's
legions on your shelf.
enormous. He's this huge handful. I felt so pleased after what I got him for.
Yeah. What you got there,
Yeah, of
Ronald?
course. Just wanted to show off some cheeks.
Some cheeks,
Dragon
yeah.
cheeks.
The dragon's cheeked up. Dragon's cheeked up too. Dragon has
Um,
cake.
well, Raul, even though it's not like an old figure, I can still appreciate it. It's a lot of fun, and I'm glad you have it in your collection for sure.
He's 12 months, so kind of old, maybe.
Yeah, and it's an
Like
achievement
time is
to Big
time
Bad.
is relative, you know.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, some people say
Storm
2001 was a long time ago. Like I remember
Stormfire is
2001.
wondering how many more pieces you need for that Nemesis
Oh, ho, ho,
map.
ho. Well, we're currently in the archives section. You know,
Hmm,
stick around. We'll see.
I think he's getting it. All right, Ronald. Good poll, man. Let's pull up Quaid here. We are really curious to see what kind of archive figure you're bringing to the table. Do better
Well,
than us. That's all I
this
ask.
was this was tough because I got a lot of. Well, you say old toys, and you're talking to somebody who's not terribly old, so you really think that you got very many? I have a few, but most of them
Okay.
aren't older. Most of them aren't
All
older
right.
than I am. But I picked one simply because it's one of the toys that means the absolute most to me, despite its age.
Oh, here we
Um,
go.
and this was kind of my, I didn't have, despite the collection that I have now, I didn't ever have tons of toys as a child. I was very, very lucky to have the dozen or so that I did. And
Okay.
for my 7th birthday, my mom had a friend of hers track down for me not just the 2007 liter class Optimus, but the
Whoa.
premium one that had the special head sculpt and the Energon blade, and that was my Optimus for my whole childhood. And he was kind of
Heck
a
yeah.
he was a big deal for obvious reasons. You know, my very first Transformer was also an Optimus, but it was one of those little Spy Changer, Hot Wheels equivalent ones, and he was
Yeah,
fun. But you go from that to this at the age of 7, and
sure.
it's kind of mind blowing. And so I didn't ever put him down. And he's still in really, really fantastic shape because he's a big deal. I took care of him.
Yeah.
And he's bordering on, good gracious, this guy's probably he might be 20 years old next year. Is that what's going on? I'm almost certain that that's what it is because 2007. So he has some of that engineering that's still left over from that 2005, 2006, Cybertron era. So he's not hitting all those perfect movie accuracy notes, but he's this wonderful thing to handle. He just feels worth every penny. And I think when he was first released, he couldn't have been more than about $25, $30, which we can't talk about anymore. And this guy had lights and sounds. So this is what I think of when I think of a flagship toy. This is what I think of when I want something to feel hefty and fun. And he does all of the things, and he's huge in both modes. And I've just always had a really, really, really good relationship with this toy, and he has a really, really special
Cool,
place now.
man.
Probably 40 plus Optimus Primes in my collection, but this guy is at the heart of it.
That's number one. Ah, that's really cool, man. Good story. It's amazing that it's still in good condition. You knew what you had back in
Yep.
the day, so you didn't want to
Yep.
ruin it. But oh man, my son would have just thrown that thing against the wall. Kids these days, but it's a different
Yeah.
generation now. But
Yeah.
that's really cool,
I,
man. That Optimus looks beefy, chunky, looks really detailed.
he's insanely detailed and to me, it's impressive simply because of the era that he was released in. They were just trying to figure out how to manipulate that hyper complexity that came from
Hmm.
the films and doing a
Yeah.
pretty good job with it within that first wave. There are some that fell kind of flat because they were especially ambitious silhouette. But I can't think of a bad movie Optimus Prime aside from some of the ones that they tried to scale down. The way his transformation works, just you don't end up with a toy that isn't large. And
Yeah.
so,
Right.
they
Right.
turned around and did that the next leader class a couple years later in Revenge of the Fallen, and that thing's just kind of that pinnacle of engineering when it comes to that character. But this guy is probably the better toy simply because of how he
Oh,
handles. He's very
nice.
much engineered to be played with. He's a crash and
That's
bash toy
awesome.
that's going to hold up against the test of time because he did. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I love him to
Yeah, man.
pieces, and he never even had to be in them.
So I gotta ask, what did you think of the new animated Transformers One?
I'm gonna I might make some people mad with this one. So I have some surprisingly contrary opinions to the mass. I might lose some fan base here with this one, but
Uh-oh. Okay, well,
I went into that movie with very moderately hopeful expectations, and I'm
okay.
afraid that as someone who is very much rooted and influenced by Transformers Prime, which came directly after those films, and Michael Bay films are not good. They're just cool. We can all agree on that one. But
Explosive, yes.
they're explosive. Yeah, they're not a good story, but they're they're a wonderful art piece, I suppose. But I very much wanted Transformers 1 to come with the same gravitas that those breakout films came with, but
Okay.
keep that, consistent level of emotional storytelling that comes with Transformers as a universe. And unfortunately, my wife and I walked out of that one feeling very much like we had just recently
Oh.
finished Transformers Prime, which was kind of
Oh,
like drinking a bottle of wine, and then the next day we
right.
went and had some Kool-Aid.
Right.
So it's not that it
Sure.
was this it's not that it was a terrible film. It was not what I wanted a film on Cybertron to play like.
Mm,
I didn't appreciate the tone. I didn't like the writing for a majority of the characters. The voice cast is kind of a different conversation in and of itself, but that was divisive for fans as well.
right.
Um, I'm not confused that it underperformed based on how I felt when I walked out of the theater. It deserves credit where credit's due because there are a lot of good components that it objectively possesses. But I wasn't confused that the general audience wasn't as responsive to that because I think
Hmm.
what folks wanted to see was those High Moon Studios Fall of Cybertron games with a 2-hour runtime put to film, and that was not that. And I think that was mostly what kind of watered it down for me. So was it offensive? No, but
No.
it was a little forgettable for me, which I was very
Hmm.
disappointed to feel.
I think another thing too is you're pretty passionate about Transformers,
I
so
love them. I love them.
yeah. I mean, um, I'm not as passionate. I just watched it with my
Right.
kids. I had a good time. I had a good time watching it.
It's it's a perfect like it's absolutely doing what that franchise should be doing. Children should not be subjected to the nonsensical content that Michael Bay put in
Right.
any of his films. It's trash on almost every
Yeah.
level. So as far as an entry point, a gateway for that brand, absolutely, it's hitting
Yeah.
all the notes that a child should be able to
Yeah.
consume and get into that story. And it's hitting all the correct story notes, but it didn't hold the weight and the drama that I really wanted it to because
Ah.
it wasn't really made for me. It seemed very
Mm.
much made for someone that didn't know Transformers yet. And I think that's why kids liked it, but I don't know how many kids went to it.
Mm. We watched it on streaming, so
Yeah.
um, well, cool, man. I mean, awesome story and archive figure. Thank you for your input on the Transformers One movie. I thought it was cool. Let's move into our recent pickups. What do you say, Ronald?
Let's do it.
All right,
You
all
again.
right. So, yeah, I'll kick it off. So I was gonna show this off last week, but yeah, that didn't happen. Oh, I'll let you do it, Ronald. There you go. All right. So I had this guy on my desk for a little bit now, and he's a lot of fun. He is a lot of fun. It's the SH Figure Arts Beetlejuice.
Oh,
So so this guy, so I showed off the Mezco 112 Beetlejuice, and I picked this one up not too later. And I gotta say, man, I like this one. This one is a lot of fun. It's really easy to pose. The joints are
right. He
really
looks like
nice on them.
he's got some interesting range in his legs.
Yeah, man. Like
That's
got the double
fantastic.
joint right here. He's just very easy to pose with that mezco. It's like you really got to take your time with it, be careful, and you're not gonna
Yeah.
get range like this with the mezco.
Mm,
But he's like really articulated in the shoulder joints right here. It's like
yeah, that's
butterfly
impressive
like to the
for a
max.
silhouette like that.
Dude, this thing's just a lot of fun. And then he comes with different face plates. You just
Oh,
pop his hair off like that, and then you pop the face plate out, and then
nice.
grab your other one, pop it in, and then he's got multiple hands and accessories. Along with his accessories, he's got the tombstone and the Beetlejuice sign, and it's just a fun
He's very
figure. I
expressive.
love very expressive. Yeah, he comes with a shrunken head as well, along with a couple other face plates. I think the SH did a really good job with this guy. I kind of feel like Ronald, close your ears, okay? Close your eardrums. I kind of like this one more than the 112 Mezco. Sorry,
Oh, he's treading
but
dangerous waters there.
oh, I know, but
Does that come with a carousel though?
that's what I was just gonna say. The
Okay.
112, like they killed it with the accessories. Like that figure is in its own class on its own. This one right here is just I just like touching it. I like moving it, and I'm not scared to like break it and all that. With the Mezco, it's kind of you're like, oh, should I move this here? I don't- because it's covered in soft goods.
Yeah.
You really have to kind of feel the structure, while moving it, and like I love the Mezco one, but this one is just a lot of fun to play with. The playability, I think this one takes the cake. So I like them both, but this one I feel like is just better. Uh, sorry guys, hate to um, I'm not throwing Mezco under the bus or anything. I'm just saying like this one is my favorite. This is my favorite.
It's okay. I
But
mean,
anyways,
me and
yeah.
Mesco aren't on speaking terms right now, so you're good.
Oh, one of those, huh? One of those
Spicy.
what was that? The ex-girlfriend type terms right there.
No, it's just like this guy holds me $300 and does
One of
not want to
those.
and doesn't want to give me anything for it. So
Yeah, Mezco has some weird ways about them, but you know what? They're both really cool figures, and so I just wanted to show you the SH Figure Arts Beetlejuice. So, Quaid, are you a Beetlejuice guy? Do you like the ghosts
You
with the
know,
most?
again, there's a level of appreciation that I'm gonna have for everything action figure related. Just the craft that goes into making it what it is. So that's just a fascinating figure on a baseline of what he's achieving. However,
Oh,
I am not into the oh. Well, that's par for
no,
the
it's
course.
not broken. It just popped out.
Yeah. Um, the horror genre is not something, and Beetlejuice is not like boxed in that direct horror genre, but he's not part of a universe that I'm necessarily particularly fond of. But I'm liking what I'm
Yeah,
seeing with that action figure. I'm liking what I'm seeing, what he does.
yeah,
And I was just
it's a
going to
lot of
say a
fun.
second ago that you can always sell me on a new concept if you have a well feeling product surrounding what it is. There are characters within, genres that I've never really paid much attention to before that had a good action figure, and it was all after. I
Mm,
don't know where that I don't know where that sentence was going, but it was all over after that.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of properties that I have no clue what this is, but I'll
Mm,
buy the figure because it looks
yeah,
pretty cool. So
yeah.
yeah, man. But anyways, that is my recent pickup. It's the SH Figure Arts Beetlejuice. All right, Ronald, what you got?
me, let's see. I was so excited of this. I'm a huge fan of Cyclops.
Oh,
Cyclops,
oh no, oh no.
you know what it is. I don't particularly want the Cyclops.
Oh,
They got me.
oh,
They got me.
my eyes.
That's
It's
what we
a
got
good
to
Cyclops
do.
figure. I'm like he's a I'm more of a Havoc guy myself, but
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
don't.
Yeah, his
I tried
brother's
to
way
keep
this
it
is
better.
what I
boxed to
want. This
everything
is
I
what
ever
I
bought
want
for
right there.
years.
Because thank you, huge shout out to Stormfire Blizzard.
Oh, here we
You know,
go.
because he's a busy guy, but he was still able to help me out. Wait, where did I put him? He's here
You don't
somewhere.
even have the pieces next to you. The cook, Jesus.
I'm like, it's okay.
Wait,
We're
what did it
professionals
come
here,
with?
right?
What did it come with? What is it? His arm, leg? What is it?
Looks like an
It
arm.
comes with the arm
Arm.
cannon.
Okay.
I wish I had that figure. I really do. I have no hope of getting it.
The Nemesis looks awesome. Are you talking about the
Yeah.
Cyclops or the Nemesis?
I'm talking about the
'Cause-
Nemesis. Cyclops is awesome too, but
Okay,
yeah, I'm probably
alright.
never going to handle that Nemesis. I
Oh,
wish.
Nah,
here it
never
is.
say never.
Oh, check it out.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, the
Oh,
road to Nemesis is over.
oh, Stormfire. Here
What
it
a moment.
is.
There we go. You get to see the last piece get snapped in there.
He's got it.
He's so
There
cool.
we go.
That's got to be one of the best Build-A-Figures they've done in a long
That
time.
thing's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Nice,
Quaid.
beefy. A character I did not think I was going to be seeing again. And look at
Again.
him. It's a he has a skull
Yeah,
in
that's
there.
sick.
I'm
Has a-
drooling.
Sick.
Has
not
a
fair.
blaster. Nice size compared to, where are you?
Yeah, he's pretty chunky as well. Maybe in like 3 or 4
Hefty
years,
size.
they'll release him by himself with a different paint application or something and make
That's
everybody
what I'm
angry
hoping
who
on.
collected him one at a time.
And I'll buy it again.
That's what I want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
That's how I feel about this one. There's some figure like I already have it, but you know what?
Yeah.
Why not?
Right.
Why not? Oh my
There's
god,
a-
this thing is so cool.
There's a couple of build figures that they just announced was the Ursa Major and the Abomination.
Yeah.
Those things look
Yep.
cool, man. But this,
Yeah.
so oh my gosh, look at this Quaid. Like
Look
imagine
at
like a
beefy.
pirate coat on him with like, some pirate stuff on, dude. Like a
Careful there. I
cybernetic
might have to get you
cyborg.
on the NDA there.
Oh. Yeah, man. Like a cyborg pirate. Oh, that'd be sick. No, this guy
Oh,
looks pretty
stop
sick,
it.
Ronald.
You're making me so upset.
I didn't know that came off. That's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have this guy, obviously.
If you want, you can swap out the head to another skull head or
Oh.
just have. And what I like about this specific look of him, like it looks like he could go with Cosmic Legions, like.
That's why I want him. That's the trouble. And I would be interested to
yeah.
see what he looks like with the head sculpt under the class. Actually, I don't know that they've used a different one, but the head sculpt under the Mysterio with the tentacle coming out of the skull would look really cool in that one.
Yeah. Oh, that would look sick. Do you have that figure, Ronald?
Oh yeah, I have.
The Mysterio?
Well, I'll just drop the bomb because the 3 student films I worked on for 3.5 years. As a young adult, we're all Spider-Man fan films, and not to pat myself on the back, but they turned out pretty darn well. And Mysterio was the main villain of the trilogy, and so Mysterio is very near and dear to my heart. So I'll buy anything that has that fishbowl on it.
Oh, nice. Right on.
Yeah, no, I have him in one of these boxes right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you get a chance, dig him out and pop that head on because I would love to see that. That thing would look sick.
I feel like the foggy white one would probably look the best, but the green one would be interesting. Either one would be cool.
Oh, there you go, Stormfire. That one's for you, bud. Stormfire says he kind of makes me think of a Doctor Who episode with the haunted library on a spaceship.
Yep. I remember that one.
Yeah, I'm all in on Cosmic Legions, and I think that guy would look pretty sweet with some Cosmics. So fingers crossed, Quaid, like you said. Hopefully they release him in like a single pack, and we can
I
pick him
hope
up.
so.
The road.
I don't have the money or the patience, I'm afraid, to get a hold of everybody that I would need to have that. I've gone on eBay and bought the whole Build-A-Figure later for like $120, and
Yeah,
I've regretted it every time. I'm afraid I don't do that anymore.
No regrets. Fan again says reminds me of Waltor the Mad, dude.
Absolutely.
100%. I didn't put
Yeah.
that together until right now, man.
Yeah.
It's got the
That's
orange, the skull.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. Well, cool, Ronald. That thing looks cool, man. Pose him up. Give him like a cool like superhero landing or something.
Oh
Let's see what
yeah.
you got.
He's
A super villain
Like
pose
super villain, yeah, landing or something.
posing.
While you do that, I'm gonna pull up Quaid because I want to see what his recent pickup is.
oh, let's see, it's already been an hour and about 20 minutes or so I suppose I better get with it. Let's see
Yep.
here. I couldn't, man, I was in such emotional distress trying to decide what I was gonna do. So I had to pick two, but I won't spend a ridiculous amount of time
Okay.
gushing over both of them. But this guy specifically just felt very, very relevant. And this, of course, we talked about him just a little bit before, is
Oh, you got the koi.
Boy
Nice.
from Discovery. And this is fun because he's very special to me. My buddy Mike Rogers, Junkie on Crafts and Builds, drug me through the Store Horseman storefront that they have available there.
Yep.
And I just said, hey, Mike, I haven't seen, because I'd been at the booth all day long. I'm working. I
Sure.
had no time to go shop. So I had like 5 minutes to my name. I said, I haven't seen Koi. Where could I go to take a look at him? And so he dragged me through there. And before I can say anything, he's bought one for me and I walk out with it in hand because he's a sweetheart, and I was
Uh,
so insanely grateful.
cool,
And
man.
so one, he just has a really fun memory, and he's highly relevant to what's going on because while aesthetically he's pretty dissimilar to what we've got going on at Corsair Creations, he's very much paving the way forward for that
Yeah.
genre and what is getting people excited
Yeah.
about that seafaring theme. And I know lots of people are really, really interested in pairing these guys with Tide Realm
Heck
anyway.
yeah.
And he's just fun. He's every time I handle him, and because I'm so busy, I wish I had more time than I do. But he's one of those that I don't put down. And it's funny because his aesthetic is informing such a different thing that I'm working on in my world. But he's so very complex and yet simple at the same time. He's from the Horseman, of course, so his deco is going to be premium, but the amount of options you have when it comes to decking him out, I didn't bring it, but he's got an alternate head sculpt with the unmasked head. He has several different weapons, and you can alternate these shoulder pads here. He's very versatile, as they always are, and I just really like his color scheme.
Yeah.
And it's too bad that everybody's going to be waiting so doggone long for everybody that goes with him because he's insanely good. And I'm hoping that, so far as I'm aware, I can't remember. I believe they were supposed to have an in stock sale of him fairly soon this year at some point, like they do with the rest of the Legions Con
Yeah.
exclusives. That was the only way to get him as of now.
Yeah.
And so I think he'll be widely available, but he's a good taste of what to expect from us indie creators that are
Nice.
trying to get this stuff out there. So, but I couldn't pick between him and something that's equally special to me, which is the Mouse King from before. And he's
Oh,
just,
Ooh.
nice.
this guy's beautiful, and he has so much range. For one, he's one of the most articulated characters they've ever done, and his seven-headed thing is back there somewhere, which is my favorite look for him.
Hmm.
It's just happened to be how I left him recently, but he's something that it was so funny because they subverted everyone's expectations with this guy. Everybody was expecting, the Ghost of Christmas present, and they dropped him and surprised us all. And the whiplash effect was real. But my wife was very, very sweet and not only tracked him down, but he was something that we opened early for Christmas Eve this year. And I get the warm fuzzies every time I look at this guy, not just because he's a mouse, but because he's so very special with his presentation and the uniqueness of what he's communicating. And he's just beautiful. And he's another one that I can't put down. It doesn't matter that it's now January 25th. He's very near and dear to my heart. And I think all of those Christmas figures are going to fall along that same theme. So, I'm afraid it won't be beyond anybody that I'm plugging my best friends at Horseman, but these are two really, really great figures that I couldn't recommend enough.
Well, yeah, man, they're great figures. What are you talking about? Both of those figures are really cool. I have the koi, I have the mouse king. They're
Yeah,
both a lot of fun to play with and pose up, put on your shelf. But yeah, I mean that koi is gonna work amazingly with your line of toys as well. So I can't
absolutely.
wait to
Folks
see
are
what,
really
yeah, man, how these two lines are gonna go together because they're going into like the fish and like ocean theme. So like I can't wait to put these
absolutely.
two together.
It was such a
Um,
interesting conversation proposing our line to them in the beginning because CB was, very, very tactfully was able to inform us of just some of the directions they were heading without giving us
ah,
anything concrete. Um,
gotcha.
and it was, in my opinion, very gracious because obviously everyone can see with everything that's been revealed this far, nobody's stepping on anyone's toes. And if they had been, they probably would have, pointed us in a different direction. But
Hmm.
they were so very confident and so very personally invested in what we were doing that it's doing both parties favors. And I think it'll only enhance the interest in that theme on people's shelves and to have this whole um, the realm that's circulating around everybody's interest thus far is only continued to get stronger. And I'm so glad that that little niche that we noticed is getting noticed by more than one party than us, and it's wonderful to see it fleshed out. And Koi is,
Yes.
I think he's absolutely what people can expect all these toys to handle like.
Yeah, man. No, those are good picks for sure. I'm all in on Four Horsemen stuff. Ronald had dabbles. He's got his picks as well. I'm curious, Ronald. Did you pick up the
I
Mouse King?
I'm jealous of both of them, but oh my, there's a there's a phobia of rats in my house. So if I would have gotten it, I would have had to have had it, hidden and hide it
Ah,
along with the waifus. That I'm like, okay, they go in a box and they stay there. Same thing with
yeah,
the
yeah,
rat. And that thing needs to be displayed. All seven heads of it. Like,
yeah.
Yes,
It's so
he's
cool.
so beautiful. Either way, he's ridiculously cool.
Yeah, I had a fun time opening up mine with my son, and we built the Nutcracker and all that stuff. I noticed you built one on your Instagram page.
Yes.
Little Nutcracker head. Yeah, that's super cool. All right. Well, those were awesome picks from everybody. But Ronald, do you want to get into our pre-orders of the week? What do you say?
yep, let's go.
All right. Well, since we have Quaid on the screen, I know that you need to get going here real soon. So, do you want to just take it away from here?
I can. I should probably get going within the next 10 minutes or so, but I'd love to talk
Okay.
about what I sent it to you because it's pretty cool.
All right. So you did send us a picture. Ronald,
I don't.
were you able to
Yes, I
find
was
it?
able to find a few more pictures from their live stream because they
Okay.
streamed
Okay.
this reveal, and I
Okay.
can see exactly after talking to you, I see exactly why this was your choice.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look at
So
This is the
this.
one you're talking about. Oh yeah.
this guy is so interesting to me simply because back in 2018 they opened that studio series conversation with the leader class Grimlock, which was such an improvement over all of the, I am going to say it, trash that they have produced of movie Grimlock ever before. They were terrible on every level. And so when they gave us that, while undersized, still beautifully painted leader class Grimlock that finally got both looks correct, he's been one of my favorites since Studio Series started, and I don't even want to talk about the fact of how much time has passed since it has. So it's what always bothered me is that they did not do the rest of the Dinobots, and that didn't make any
Mm,
sense to me. So clearly they have pivoted, waited until they had, the resources or at least the timing was right for what they wanted to kind of change directions, and clearly this is the approach that they would like, and a Titan class Grimlock is absolutely where he should be at. And the fact that they've already confirmed that, I think they're almost done designing the second one. My guess is that's probably Slug. I'm fairly confident that's what they're still going to call him. If not, then it's probably Scorn, but I would imagine it's the Triceratops. this thing is, of course, so it's funny because it's kind of daunting on one side. You feel like you're starting over again with the same character that we just cannot get past Grimlock. But this is such a beautiful, in my opinion, design of that character. And look at the departure from the G1. I'm sure there's folks that
Yeah.
aren't going to enjoy this just because of how different it is. But I love both equally. And the fact that the magnitude of the figure is going to match how I feel about the character in size. I'm so excited for him. He's going to be so stupid expensive, and I don't know how I'm going to afford him, but I'm not I'm not missing this guy, and I can't wait for to have all four of them. Because I'm sure it's going to mean, Strafe will probably be a leader class at least, so everybody will be big. And oh, the painted renders of this guy. I love that Grimlock's color scheme to begin with. So I'm talking everybody's heads off here, but I can't get enough of this guy.
It's
I
all
think his
good,
engineering
man.
is going to be a little bit more interestingly simplistic than the leader class, but I think that's just going to lend to the fact that he'll be really fun to handle.
Yeah. And well, you missed like the main important thing about this is it's a freaking dinosaur, bro. Like,
Right.
come on, Grimlock.
Exactly.
Say nothing more. I mean,
It's nice
Oh
there
that
it
yeah,
it is a
the
is.
dinosaur
transforming
and
T-Rex.
Jesse's
That's all
in.
you need.
Let's go. No, this thing looks really cool, man. I unfortunately missed the stream, but this thing looks cool. What do you think? Just guessing, Quaid. Just guess. How much do you think this thing's gonna be?
Oh, he's going to be 200. No doubt
Hmm.
about it. And
Hmm.
that's what's bothering me is because they started that thread with Tidal Wave. And Tidal Wave, as cool of a toy as he is, because he's getting everything right that you want out of that character, he's $60 overpriced. He's the smallest Titan they released, and he was $60 more than anybody prior. And that's of course a whole other conversation. But I didn't like the pill that I had to swallow when purchasing him, despite how much I liked the toy. He was not worth the price of admission. And this guy, in order to be the scale they're looking for, he's going to be overpriced as well. That's just
Yeah,
kind of how it is. So I wish he was closer
it's
to
Hasbro.
140, but I'm betting on
Yeah.
200.
So our number one Voltron fan wants to start some beef with you. Uh, he says one question before you leave. Hold on. Are you excited about the Voltron live action movie coming out?
This
I
is for
didn't know
me.
there was one. Yes, that is
So
for
yeah,
you. Yes.
I was gonna say
Yes.
I'm right there with Jesse. I didn't know there was one. I'm afraid I
I
saw
think he's
the
just totally
He-Man.
pulling my yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
saw the
the
He-Man trailer
He-Man.
the other
Yeah, that's
day, and
right.
kind of that's a whole other conversation as well. But I hope if there is a Voltron movie, then they better do it right because everything surrounding Voltron has been pretty iffy thus far. But that might be
I
making some more
know.
enemies.
Wait a second. Wait a second. It's coming back to me now. Didn't Henry Cavill like say he was going to do something with Voltron?
He
Uh
had an announcement that he was going to be in another Mummy sequel. Like we need that again.
oh.
But
Oh, I missed that one.
yeah.
Ronald, do you have any input here? Do you have your
Uh,
thumb on the pulse of pop culture?
I don't know. I think this Grimlock would put up a good fight against Voltron.
Oh yeah, he'd kick his
Oh,
butt. He'd kick his butt.
there you have it, Obi-Wan. You heard it here first.
That cat fight
Um,
wouldn't last long because dinosaur.
yes, exactly. All right. Ronald and I will continue our pre-orders, but I wanted to say goodnight to Quaid. He said he had to get going at an hour and a half, and we're over, so I don't want to
All
take
right.
up too much more of your time. But Quaid, I wish you the best. Like seriously, I wish you the best of luck with this adventure that you're doing with your action figures, Four Horsemen, a Kickstarter. Like, I hope you the smoothest transitions and best of luck with everything. Thank you for jumping on the Collection Nexus and talking about your figures with us. Please just wrap it up for you. Whatever you want to say to the people out there, your Kickstarter stuff. Floor is yours.
Of course, I appreciate you guys immensely. It's an honor that we've been welcomed so gently and yet expressively into this community of how many folks are just excited for this to come into being. It's very much as if the whole community has just been waiting for something just like this, and I'm honored to be the person who's, with any luck, providing that to people. And it's the overwhelming amount of enthusiasm that we're experiencing online on a day-to-day basis is extremely reassuring. And we have such a great team behind us. Four Horsemen Studios has been highly supportive and very protective of us as an entity, and they're very, very interested in seeing us succeed just as we are them. And so I can't thank everybody who, as an individual, has found something that they're responding to within this brand and within this community, and everybody who is putting what's going to be their hard-earned resources into this is just as valuable as the man and wife that have created this brand. My wife is just as integral to this as is. It's not 50-50%, it's 100% on both sides. She's just as integral to what makes this what it is, and it's very much our dream to do this for as long as we're alive. We want to make you guys pirate figures until we don't have any breath or coins left, and it's because of everybody who's coming together to make this what it is that you guys should feel just as proud once you're putting your name down for that campaign, because you're
Let's
doing
go.
something that not everybody gets to do, and you get to be a part of a story that's only going to grow from here. And that's
Yeah.
why it's so important to get in early. That's why
Yeah.
signing up for that email and keeping an eye out for the landing page is what's going to give you the best chance, not just to get what you're hoping to get out of the campaign, but to position everybody for that level of success that we're all hoping for. And so I can't thank you guys enough for your time, and thank you for giving us the plug here. Another opportunity to talk about pirates is a blessing that I don't ever get tired of being able to share with folks, because it's a blast and we can't wait to set sail with everybody in a few months.
Yeah, man, that was great. Good wrapping up. Okay, now last thing, give me your best pirate impersonation. Go. Nothing.
You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
Oh, whoa! I got the goosebumps. Ronald, did you get goosebumps there? Damn,
Oh
that
wow,
was
I
good
was not
stuff,
expecting that.
man. Damn,
If I didn't
it's
see
like
him,
I was,
I didn't see him do it. I thought it was a soundboard.
That's a wrap for
bro. I
Corsair this
know.
evening.
Thought I was watching the movie for a second.
Appreciate you
All
guys
right,
very
Quaid.
much.
It was a
Right?
lot of fun, man. We'll see you out of here, and good luck, man.
Absolutely. I'll see you next time. Thank you guys.
All right, take care. All right, Ronald, it's me and you, bud. Let's finish this thing out. What do you say?
Let's do it. We still have a
All
few
right,
more pre-orders, right? What you
we
dropped in some of
do.
the blue
Well, I
zones?
mean, we got a couple. I don't know how many you want to talk about, but I'll talk about mine for sure.
All
Um,
right.
I
You want me to bring it up?
Sure, if you want to, let's go. So, all you in the toy community know that this figure has been announced and pre-orders are up and all this stuff. We talked about the trailer earlier for Masters of the Universe. Yes, there's a live action Masters of the Universe on the horizon, but none of that with this pre-order. Let's go to the original. Let's go to the Mondo 112 Skeletor. You got it. Mono 112
You said Mondo,
Skeletor.
you said 112. I'm like, wait, they do that?
They do it. They do it.
I thought
They
they were
actually hit a
16, but
no. Oh well, they do that too. But this is the 112, and I always said back in the day that if they do 112 stuff, my wallet better watch out because it's gonna take a beating. And here it is, man. They got the Skeletor. They announced the He-Man, so that those pre-orders have been up for a while now, but this one's been up for a few weeks now, couple few weeks. um Skeletor, I mean, he's the man. He's in all the memes, laughing as he runs away, all that stuff. I mean, this guy looks awesome. The Mondo one looks freaking phenomenal. This looks like a culmination of all the cool He-Man stuff, Skeletor stuff that we know, and they just packaged it into one small 112 figure. Um, he's going to be what, a little around 7 inches, a little over 7 inches. But I mean, this thing looks like a beast. He just looks so cool. I know that there was a timed edition that you could have jumped on. It came with like more stuff, alternate staff and everything. I'm cool with that. I just want to get just the basic. Give me the sword and the goat scepter and the Skeletor, and I'll be happy. So this is where I'm at. Yeah, they're gonna do He-Man, Skeletor, and I'm a little worried what else they're gonna come out with, but because these aren't cheap, they're not expensive, but they're not cheap neither. So I got to really kind of stay in the lane here and see what I want to buy down the line. If they make a She-Ra, I'm in trouble.
Oof.
Merman, yeah. Well, this is the big bad price as well, but yes, it is over $100 on Big Bad with a non-refundable deposit. You could have got this on Mondo for a little bit cheaper. I did not. I went with Big Bad. Honestly, you know what, Ronald? I don't know if it's just me, Ronald. Maybe it's you and people out there. I honestly like using Big Bad, even though they charge a little bit more. I know that like I'm gonna get what I pre-order.
Oh
It's
yeah.
going in my pile of loot. I could press ship on that thing when I want my stuff, and it always arrives. And I'm willing to pay just a little more for that. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yeah,
what do
no,
you feel me on
after a
that?
few yeah, no, after a few figures on your pile of loot, like that $4 shipping makes up for the little markup they have.
Yeah, they've been doing that $4 shipping for a while now, but I mean, like it kind of averages out after their increase in taxes and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But like,
And then dude, their customer service is on point. Like I've had very few issues with them. I want to say in the last 10 years, I have like two issues and they've resolved them in my favor
yeah,
and I'm happy there. And they're not like, Mesco who doesn't answer your emails even though they have like $300 of yours.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
man.
I'm a little bitter.
Yeah, that's not cool. But I don't know. I haven't had a problem with Big Bad. So I mean,
Well,
fingers
more
crossed,
of a
knock on wood.
of a figure with defects, like a
I
figure
have
seizing
had
up right out
one
of the box.
problem with a defective figure from Big Bad but they handled it, took care of it, all that stuff. That was a long time ago too. I haven't had anything since. But anyways, enough about Big Bad. I want to talk about Skeletor here. He's the main evil man from Master of the Universe, and I love picking up some Master of the Universe from here to there. I don't go like heavy into Master of the Universe. I just get the main guys, and honestly, this guy just looked too good to pass up. So yeah, it's 7.5 inches. I think it looks cool. Ronald, is this on your radar? Picking this guy up?
This one is. I am not a Masters of the Universe guy. Didn't want to do the 1/6. I kind of dabbled in the Revelation ones when they first came out because I really
Hmm.
did like the show.
Yeah,
But
cool.
dude, these just on their own without anything to. Well,
I
I,
know,
I
right?
I've never watched the cartoon that they come from, but just looking at their design and knowing what Mondo has done and
Yeah,
just I think they might be worth the money. I think I might want to check one of these out one of these days.
yeah. Another
This one,
thing
this
with
was
me
tempting.
is I don't like Mondo's more 1/6 scale. I've traveled away from 1/6 and gone 1/12. I don't own any Mondo, like anything. So I'm really curious to get this in my hands and like see what Mondo is bringing to the table. So that's another reason why I wanted to pre-order this. Other than the fact that it looks like a really cool Skeletor, so they got my money on that one. So all right, but that's it. That is my pre-order of the week. It's Mondo Skeletor. What you got, Ronald?
Me, I have something. I think it goes hand in hand with our guest today. I want those figures because I want to put them in situations, and everybody complains. I'm like, there's not enough dioramas, there's not enough set pieces, and
Mm,
I'm into to vehicles. If you consider the horses vehicles, which I do, but this would go hand in hand with any pirate figure.
What you
We
got?
have a little boat. We got a
Oh,
Patriot Studios doing a boat diorama. Not a complete
oh,
boat,
look
but
at this.
yeah, it was good. It's
Dude.
based on, I want to say, Resident Evil 4,
Uh-huh.
and
Okay. Yeah.
it looks cool. Has all the stuff in there. If you want to do any boat shots. Also, of course, they have two editions. They have the deluxe edition right here, which comes with water. Would it be like a little mat or something?
Oh.
And then fishes, because
Oh, fishy.
honestly, for this one, I don't think the DLC. I mean the deluxe edition is. Well, you got to check the prices first, but I don't think it's that much. Oh, and it has light up lights,
Oh, lights up. Look at that.
and then they're
Interesting.
gonna tell me it comes with magnets too, and then I'm like, ah, I guess.
Gonna have to
Lights and
get it.
magnets is like, oof. Yeah, no, they have a Leon figure right there, just
Mm,
pulling
mhm.
the thing, trying to get it to
Yeah, this is all
start.
coming back to me. I beat that game many years ago, but now I'm starting to remember. Yeah, Leon.
There's a boat in there. There is a boat in there,
Yeah. Uh-huh. And
but
and
that's
this
cool.
thing
Yeah,
comes with harpoons too. So I mean, that'll up your pirate ante. Yeah, no, this would look good with those pirate figures for sure.
yeah, no, definitely a good first start to have some pirate photography there.
Hmm. It's a little modern. I mean, for like pirates and stuff, but like I think with certain angles you can make it work. So I don't think
Yeah, you
pirates
got to
have
take
like
off that
rockets
motor
and
on it and
motors.
give them oars, and it'll be more period accurate.
Right.
But 28 deposit. How much is it for them to ask so
No, that's
much?
cool.
So it's
Oh
98
wow.
for the standard,
Wow.
110 for the deluxe B version.
Ooh. Ooh.
It's still
Usually
cool.
it's cool. It's cool, Ron. I'll give you that. But man, $100 for a boat. I mean, it's gonna be pretty big, right? You're gonna get a 112 figure in there. You could probably get like what, three, four 112 figures to fit in that thing. So it's gonna be size sizely boat. Yeah. Oh, Obi-Wan
Yeah.
says uh for your Mezco Popeye.
Ah, that too.
That's
Yeah,
actually
no, definitely.
genius. Genius. This looks cool, but I would only get it for the boat. Yeah. Um, no, I could see some figures in my collection that would fit really nicely with this boat, but I don't know about that price, man. I'm sure it's worth it. I'm sure it looks great. The pictures look great, but that's why I don't have any diorama stuff, just because I like buying the figures rather than the boats. you
Rather than
know?
the accessories. Yeah, no, this is definitely tailored to somebody like I'm not gonna. I don't take pictures. I'm not the picture taker here.
Yeah.
But
Oh man.
or picture taker photographers that need more dials and more accessories, or just people that are waiting for a dozen pirates to come in the mail.
Yeah. Yeah, that too.
Mm.
No, I could see some really cool like Savage Crucible, Mythic Legion stuff,
They're fish people. They're
fish people coming out, jumping on the boat. No, this is cool. This is a good pre-order. I didn't even know. I was just on 5K earlier today. I didn't even see this thing. So Ronald, you got me again, man. Your enabling powers are getting stronger, brother. Strong.
yeah. I expect
Um,
to see a pirate thumbnail soon. Okay, another one.
all right. No, man, that's a good pick. So that's it, Ronald. We did it. We talked to Quaid from Corsair Creations, talked all about his new gonna be recent Kickstarter announcement. It'll happen, you guys. I went to Legion's Con last November. I saw his figures there in person. They look awesome. I can't wait to get those figures on my shelf. So, do like I'm gonna do. sign up for that email notification on Kickstarter. Just get in on this thing because I definitely want to see this thing funded. If not, if pirates is not your thing, it's all good. Wait for the next one too. But I'm definitely going to jump on board for this one. So yeah, we talked to Quaid. We went over our archives, our recent pickups, and our pre-orders of the week. You guys, here's another episode of the Collection Nexus in the books. We started over. There was a little snafu last week, but Ronald wants to come back strong. So let's do this. Ronald, you got anything to say?
Uh, yeah, no, just I want pirates. I've been saying it for a while.
I want
Cowboys and
pirates
pirates
too.
are severely lacking in the action figure
Yeah.
environment. Like, give me what I want. Give me what
Give
I
this
want.
man what he wants. And plus, they're gonna look great with the new Mythic Legion stuff that they're gonna come out with. Like, it's gonna look awesome. I can't wait to see these things.
Yeah,
But
no, and
anyways,
anybody still here with us, thanks for sticking around. Do all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, and thank you for being on this journey with us. There's a lot of
yeah, for
people we've
sure.
talked to in the last year and a half, over 100, well, about 100 guests. A lot
Yeah,
of new
man.
people I've met, and a lot of new friends, a lot of memories. And let's just keep it going.
Yeah,
We're
well
not
said.
stopping anytime soon. And onwards and upwards.
Let's go.
Let's see where this is going, where we're going.
Well said, man.
Are
All
you
right.
ready?
Arr, you ready, kids? All
All
right,
right, Captain.
Ronald. Let's wrap this thing up. Thanks everybody for hopping in, keeping that chat alive. I see you, Stormfire, Obi-Wan, fan again, all you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, congrats on your nemesis, bro.
Oh
That's a
man,
cool looking pig.
I don't think I've been this excited for a figure in a while, especially a bath. Like, I honestly, it's been like
Oh,
2-3 years since I built a bath.
yeah.
I like it.
Right on, Ronald. All right, fun pick. See you next time, man. All right, guys. See you on the next one. Later.
Tomorrow, next week.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll see.
See you on the next one.
All right,
Later,
it'll be a
guys.
surprise later.
Yep.